Hey, Guanting.
Hold on 1 second. Are you all set? All right. She's on here. All right. Today, bumping, I figured we can go over at least bowed out roads and how to fix those. We're recording this, so whatever we do, I think I sent you the file of the street I'm trying to fix a while back. Do you still have that coast road? I think it was C01.zip.
Okay, I see that here another computer. Okay, that's good. What I can do here is that I can just tell you what in the extreme case we can do that, but usually we are not recommended for that.
Okay, can you show me step by step what you would do actually at first? I'll give you presentation to be the presenter.
Okay, let's see another computer. I can just, so what the step is usually when you don't have the GPS for a very long stretch, we will have the problem with the GPS bar.
Yeah. Can you go ahead and share your desktop and show them what we're looking at?
No, I can't because that computer that is can we show that part in the next time? I can just go through what the steps is.
Can I show you on my screen and then you can tell me what to do from there?
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and share that. Darwin, I can't hear you at all. Alright.
Hey, can anybody hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. Hey, Guangping. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Darwin.
Hey,
Yeah,
Darwin.
I thought I'd sit on this thing and see what kind of problems my driving has been doing. I remember this road well.
Alright, here seems to be a problem. I was wondering what would be the first step that we take to fix this, Guangping?
In the middle here.
Yep.
Like this says that the first we check is to see if we process all the GPS files. That's the first thing you check. We're not the unit file, we check the GPS files.
Okay.
For example, when you process the GPS analysis, why do we need so many GPS files here? So that's the first step to check. You manage just to reprocess the GPS.
Reprocess that? Okay.
Yeah,
So
just
go ahead.
reprocess it. Not one step, just process the GPS.
Okay, do the integration then? Or the GPS?
Not integration. GPS DP.
Okay.
Hey, Guangping, is that, that road, I remember that, it was pretty steep canyon, so I tried to stop, I'd probably lose lock every time I moved, you know what I mean? I'd stop and get lock again, then start moving again and lose lock, and then I'd drive for like maybe 100 yards or so, and then stop again and get lock, and then drive again. I never ever could keep it while I was driving. I thought that would allow me to continue, but as you can see, the road's kind of separated there. Is there something else that I should do or the driver should do when they're driving roads like that you can't keep a GPS signal to help this processing?
Usually when you drive and when you receive the GPS signal, then it shows on the screen. And
right.
First thing when you just we just first thing is we just process the GPS and we check why our need so many GPS points.
So you say there is some, is there some minimum, number of good GPS points? Because I can see that what I understand now is that the processing system gets rid of a lot of GPS points that aren't good, right?
Yes. For example, if you can you see the screen here or not?
Say it again.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. In the GPS process, we have the P-dot mask, and we have the signal on the up left corner, up right corner there. And that usually is with P-dot P-dot is basically satellite geometry on the sky, in the sky. We can check that number to see if we can get some points.
So what number? So it starts off at 6. What's the best number to go after that?
And you can try 9 or 12. Try 9 or 12. I think for this method, maybe we still can get that.
Okay. So you think
maybe the try 12. Yeah. Try 12.
And then should I change this? And what's this do?
This will be in the calculation if the let's say we have some multi-task problems and sometimes the sigma will be a little higher. We can set tolerance for like 3 if you change that to 3.
Okay.
Because in some cases a point is better than nothing.
So you said something about heights with that one?
Changing the sigma to this. Let's do like this one. First thing is just processing just use the regular, use the fixed on the top.
Okay.
And then just process. See what we get here. Okay. Okay.
So that's regular right there.
I need to look at that message box.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Just look at this box here. It says we processed 337 points, and the 2200 points was not processed because we do not have enough satellites for that point.
Okay, so your program got rid of those just because they were already known to not be good, right?
Because they said it don't have enough GPS, so it has less support satellites.
Right.
So we can process of it. And if we go down here, point with the high speed is 275. 275, yeah. And also the point with the high speed is you have a couple hundred there. So if you change the P-dot mask and the sigma, then the last two numbers can be reduced.
Okay, so you want me to go ahead and do that?
Yeah.
So what's neat about this road is that even though it's spread apart like that, I noticed it followed the same trajectory. So that kind of shows that the inertial system is working. It's just that it somehow gets off a little bit. And you're doing this to try to reduce the program's removal of GPS points to see if you can't get to the point where they're going to be lined up. Is that what you're doing right now?
Yeah. So after we change that number, you see we got the first point is higher right now.
Right.
And then we still have that the 2200 points is says less than 4 satellites.
Right.
So we need to look at what type of. There are two scenarios. We need to look at the OBS file and check the base station. So it could be sometimes the base station could cause this problem also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, is it just a bad day for that base station, or maybe just a bad section? If I had a base station that did this for this day, would it be just maybe the time, or is it going to be the whole day mostly?
In the past, we have some problems sometimes with the navigation file. Do you remember that?
Okay. Yeah. So
And we have sometimes I can try to just use the to say it's not the navigation file problem. So I can try use the nav file from the van instead of the base.
So you're saying, okay, from here, that the nav file from the van instead of this nav file, correct?
Yeah, right. I mean, that sometimes I try to use that to see the exact problem.
Okay, so I think this was actually...
I think we tried this before.
Yeah, we did. Okay. So that was the van one.
Yeah. And if that was not a problem, then what we need to do is just open the OBS file.
This one?
And then,
or the... Yeah. Okay. The base OBS?
The real rubber.
Oh, right there.
And this is, we just go through the different the method just to find the problems right now.
So the first thing you should check is that the data from the base station is good, and you can do that by checking if the dates and the times seem to make sense.
Right. And if you go down here, just scroll this size, and then you probably this seems okay from here.
What are you looking at that seems okay?
Because sometimes whether you have a less than 4 seconds, for example, so each time here, you see each line is basically is 1 satellite line.
So this is one satellite point right there?
Yes.
Okay. So we're looking for where there's, right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 satellites. Yes. Is that what that's saying?
Yes.
Okay, so we're looking for something that maybe has 2 or 4 or something like that?
Right. Or sometimes if we miss a satellite, you can see that it's really easy. I think this side, here we have like this, let's say how much space is here, and then 40 seconds. Here we have like a 10 seconds space of
Okay.
so basically this 10 second interval we don't have data. You go up a little bit.
And you can check the time of that data with the time of the rover data and see if that's kind of screwing things up.
No, that is the rover data. So basically here, So here we have missing like 10 seconds data. So 10 seconds is not that.
Okay. So like I say, when I'm driving this, though, like you say, how far should I drive without stopping and letting it reconnect if I'm in this really heavy, dense, valley?
Okay, and it's also if the road is fairly straight, you can drive a little longer.
Okay.
I think
so if it's really curvy, you want to stop maybe every 30 seconds or so. If it's really straight, you might be able to drive for 3 minutes.
Right. But I think it's usually if you have like a couple minutes, sometimes it's fine.
Even on a curvy road like this, as you can see, has switchbacks and everything?
I think like a minute should be reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah. So like here, we just have 10 seconds.
So then I need to keep scrolling till I see more than 10 seconds?
This is just double check how the data looks here. This is really different here. Okay, here we have some. This is the some for 2 seconds.
Looks like 12 seconds.
Right. This is not very long here.
Okay. So what am I looking for? Like a 5-minute, 1-minute increment, or am I looking longer?
Right now, just double check here that if we have a lot, just to get a feeling of how good is that data, how bad is the data here.
Okay, because here's another like 5 second.
This is 24, 25. This is not very long here.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the data in the other side, we have a much bigger gap.
Is it down more?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, here we
I'm
have
guessing that's bad right here.
You will go up a little bit.
Looks like all these are 2 and 3.
This is not useful. Okay, here is one. So it's 16, 26, 27. You go down more, 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 more. Okay, more. Okay, stop here. 16, 28, 11.
How come my screen keeps blinking on and off? Anybody else doing that?
A little bit, but now it's stop. So here is like it's about like 2 minutes.
Okay. What's a bad amount of time for bad GPS? Like, is it 2 minutes, or are we looking like for something like 5 minutes?
I think we're bouncing things if it's a straight road, 2 minutes might be okay, and 5 minutes might be okay. If it's a little curvy road, it might be a lot less. Is that right? Something?
Right, that's correct.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So in the field, we just gotta tell people, hey, if you're doing a lot of curves and turns and things like that, you probably want to try and not lose lock for more than like 30 seconds, right? If you're driving in a straight road, you can probably lose it for a couple minutes and not have any trouble.
Right.
So all right, so that's kind of rule of thumb when you're training drivers then.
Okay.
I mean, look here, if you go down a little bit more, so we still have a lot, here we have a lot of places with less satellite for space flying. So maybe here we have like 2 minutes gap.
So if you check this rover data, like when you're processing and you have a lot of these problems like this, even though you have data for it, that could be a road that you should redrive maybe, just because
Right.
you're probably going to not be able to process it very well.
Right.
Okay.
So it's another to check then, Jared, you wouldn't just check the images and the counts and all that stuff. You have to probably look in and see, gaps, I guess, in the GIS.
I think that would only occur if we had a problem with a road like this. If I had a bowed road, and I think that's when I would check this. If it's a regular road that has quite a bit of GPS, there's no real reason to check then.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So this is basically, that's why we just have a lot of GPS gaps here, and if you look at the,
So,
because all this data here so far is not useful. I think here we have even a big gap.
okay. So when we go ahead and we do that, the PDOP, that changes the quality of GPSs that we allow through. Am I correct? Like
the PDOP is means this. Even if you have more than 4 satellites, sometimes the satellite on the sky in the sky is from the almost the same area.
Okay.
So the ideal case is you have GPS is distributed in the different direction in the sky. And if you have only 4 satellites, and that it's only from the one side of the sky, and then the TW may be higher, so it's not very good.
Okay, so
calculate that. So the TW is the diameter of the satellite in the sky.
okay, so it goes up and sees if there's any more satellites that are further up.
Right. So if the TW is some for example, you have 4 satellites from the near one direction from the sky, you get the high TW, but you can still calculate the location.
All right, and then the sigma, what's that going to help me with on this?
The sigma is, let's say you have, we calculate the error is, RMS error in the calculation is a little higher. So that means that location, the position will be a little bit less accurate.
Okay. So
where is that? Where's the RMS? Like, that's not in this file, that's in something else?
That's in the process. So you have that threshold.
So you're saying with the sigma, it takes the vehicle, make it closer?
So it's not make closer, it makes some point initially it will reject it, and if you change that number, the reject point of view will be displayed up to you. So this data set, I think it's, if you look at the ODS file, basically it says, we have too much data stuff here.
Mm-hmm. So I would fix that by just driving the thing slower and then stopping more often to get locked.
Right. Sometimes if you drive in a different time, it may be help.
Different time of the day.
Yeah, that could be also helpful.
Is there a time?
Well, that's another question I want to ask you. Like the satellites. First of all, the U.S. satellites are all over the world, right?
Yes.
Do they move so that like at nighttime in the U.S. they're more over China then? Is that how it works?
I think right now, in general, it's different. You should be able to travel almost every time, all the time. Because right now we have more than 27 satellites right now, so it's different.
Okay.
And if you look here, everyone will have just that's a big stuff here.
Yeah.
This is quite a long, so now it's 5 here, so we have 4 satellites.
So then, Zach was mentioning something about if it comes, worst case scenario, we can't get back out there at all. There's a way of adding GPS points to pull it to a certain direction to fix those old roads?
Yes. But I think for this part, it's still difficult to do that. But what that means is, for example, we process the data and then we get the GPS file like what we displayed there. And in certain places, we know one side is correct, is right. We have good GPS files there. And what we can do is when you use that GPS file, use the image to measure, let's say we find some feature like a stop sign. And from the images with a good GPS location there. And we also measure that stop sign from the opposite road where they don't have the GPS point. And the first point will be off. And then we know the offset from these 2 points, and then we just apply that offset to the other image location, and use that as a GPS control point.
Okay.
Okay. So like on this one, this is a pretty skinny road, right? So I pretty much drove over the same track. So let's say you got some kind of center line from the city or county, and one of the tracks lined up with that lot better than the other one, you probably could say, hey, that road's probably better.
Yeah.
Then you find an image that's supposed to be fairly close to where you look like you find a stop sign or something like that in the images that are close to the right location. Then you look at that same stop sign in the images that are not at the right location, and then you take the rover data for that image, and you substitute that data in for the image that sees that same stop sign or close to it in the bad data, right? And then when you reprocess this, that data will pull the road in a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, so and then you can just follow the same format, right, in this file to get it in the right format. And it's just going to be, you might have to change the time then to make it match the time of the other images then, or anything you got to do to edit that data.
Okay. What I did is, let's say from the let's say westbound we're not at that location. We have good GPS time. And also it matches with the center line. So we're sure this is right. And then we find a stop sign from the westbound. And then we measure the location of the stop sign. And then we measure also that stop sign from the other direction, the eastbound. And we find the image there, and then we measure that. And it's also let's say by 10 feet. For the let's say we're off by 10 meters. And so then in that case we know that image location is off by 10 meters. And then we just because we know the time for the image, the GPS time for the image location. So we said, okay, this image location needs to move by 10 meters. And that is same like a GPS point.
So would you be able to go over that with me? Can we do that? Or is that something where I need to find some type of sign and then we can go over it?
Yeah.
Probably you should do that just for time. And when we get out of this thing, we can go to the point where we find the stop sign, find the same image. Probably, I guess we're going to extract, that same stop sign from both, sides, and then you measure the distance between them. I guess it's some offset angle, I suppose, too, right? And then with that distance between them, you can just adjust the same offset. You can adjust the same distance, X, Y, Z, or whatever latitude, longitude that would be based on the orientation.
Right.
Adjust that from the same, image location on the one that's off. Change it that offset, and then that should be a good point.
Correct.
Okay. So what we'll do, Jared, we'll find something in there that we can see in both images.
Okay.
Use the feature extraction, measure it, then get on the map and just do that little distance tool, in between them and see what the offset is, and then we can see if we can calculate what the offset would be and try to do it. If not, then put that for the next meeting with Montaigne to show how we couldn't get it done.
Okay.
And the after measure, for example, we know the offset between the 2 points. And then we just apply that point to the image location. And then use that new point as a GPS point. So we just basically insert that point to the GPS file and then reprocess the data.
Oh, okay. So you don't really have to measure the offset, right? You just take the good GPS, sign location as the image location of that bad image.
Right. We made it from the good image and also the made it from the bad image. And because it's the same point, so we know the offset of this measurement.
Right.
So then we apply that difference to the image location, because image location has the offset is off. So we apply that offset and then use that as a new GPS point.
Okay. Yeah, so you do take that difference between the stop sign and then use that difference to adjust the image location, right?
Correct.
You don't use the location of the stop sign, the good stop sign for the image location of the bad image. You use the offset. I suppose if you got some object that was really close to the van, all right, you could almost just use that good location, you know what I mean, for that image. You know what I mean? Let's say you've got a stop sign that's only 3 feet away from the van, you kind of got it in both images. Then you probably could just use that image location.
Right.
Okay.
And usually, I think we did do that we did that a couple years ago. Usually, we did do that. If the density is, we need to do too many GPS points, how the bandwidth doesn't require the work.
Right. That's only, like Jared was saying, if we just can't go back and redrive it, we can fix it by putting a few good points and reprocessing it.
Right.
Okay. All right. Hey, Jared, how many things do you have on your agenda? I know you're going to try and break this up into different meetings. The one thing I was hoping to have done, too, is, maybe not in this meeting, but have Glenn Ping go through the calibration process, just so we have it down. And then I guess, I'm still, Glenn Ping and I need to talk about a consulting fee for Glenn Ping to continue to maybe help in some of those things. But it'd be nice to get it down just so we had it. And I don't know what you got on your agenda. How many other things you want to hit, and how long do you want to go for this meeting?
The biggest thing that I had along with that was, how do we know when we can't fix a line anymore to get PTS points? But I'm guessing the OBS file is the way to go to check that. Am I correct, Bumping? That pretty much would tell me that.
Right. I mean, if you look at basically, you look at the display PTS line and the PTS line, and try to see whether you have a lot of PTS gaps, and then also look at the message box. See why we're doing the process, why all the PTS is not processed. Then check the navigation file. Then adjust the P-down. And if this is still didn't work, then you can look at the OBS file, see whether we just miss a lot of PTS files.
Okay.
And if we say, okay, we do miss a lot of PTS points, and if it is really bad, then in that case, probably it's better just to redrive.
Okay, so pretty much you're saying the steps is, go ahead and look at that message box when I first do, when I see that it's bad. Go ahead and do that GTPS thing to redo it, and then change the numbers for the PDLP to 9 or 12, and maybe the sigma to 3 if I have to. Yeah. 3 or 6, right?
Yeah.
And then go ahead and run that and see if I'm still missing a lot of the PDOP, and see how many, if I'm missing, if I got some good points this time around. If I didn't, then go ahead and try a different nav file from the van.
Right.
And then if that doesn't work, go ahead and look at the OBS file from the rover. And that will tell me if I had good satellite positions or not. And if not, if we can get back out there, go ahead and redrive. If not, we can add in points if we have to.
Yeah. And also sometimes you find that the raw GPS OBS file is good, but sometimes we just use the OBS data from the base. That's also possible.
What's also possible?
I mean, sometimes because to process GPS, we need to have data from the rover and from the base. So sometimes it's the base station problem.
Okay, yeah. Right.
That's another possibility.
I think you've mentioned that, where it might be out for an hour or something.
Right. But sometimes the base station just stops. Base stop could be stopped sometimes. In that case, you can just try another, you look at the OBS file, based on the time, so if you miss this area, and then you say, okay, what time is stamp for that area, and then go back and look at the OBS file. Whether we're missing data in the OBS base file or the rover file.
Okay, so you're saying look at the base.obs file, the original one it made, to see if that time is actually in there.
Yeah.
Time. And then if it's not, you're suggesting probably that's why we have two base stations we download and just use a different base station?
Yeah. If the one base station is used, then that's good.
Okay.
And also,
go ahead.
I just want to comment that when you download the base station data, make sure process that early because one second GPS data will be lost after a month.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we had a couple of those. So I'd say, that before we go out on a job, you get an idea from the crew when they're going to be there and just start downloading data.
Right. If the data is only available for a month.
Right. And you had some kind of a procedure while I'm paying that if the 1 second base station was too far away, then going to a 5 second closer is better. Is there any kind of general rule on that, or is it always just if you don't have a 1 second base station, you got to put up 1 second core, then you got to put up your own base station?
I mean, if we can have the own base station, usually that works good because it's usually close.
The best, the best, right? And it's close, right?
If you can set up the own base station, that will be better.
How far away can you be then? How many miles away from a city can you be with a 1 second and still have it be usable?
We can still use in the past also it's 100 kilometers, so it's 70 miles.
That's still okay.
Yes. Even if you leave it aware, that's still, the accurate, or some part will be a little bit more, a little bit less accurate. You can, worst case, you can still cross 100 miles.
Right. So if you had a choice of a 1 second base station 150 miles away and a 5 second base station, 20 miles away, you still go with the 1 second, right?
No, I think in that case I go with 5 seconds.
5 seconds, okay.
Yeah. But if you have under 30 seconds, depending on the road, if that's 30 seconds, that you can go with the 30 seconds. If you have a lot of curved road, 30 seconds will not work.
Okay, so if you're doing a grid-based road, then you don't have to worry as much. If you've got a mountainous road and twists and turns, you better get a 1 second base station pretty close.
Yes.
Okay.
And then also, I wanted to know about PTS files where you told me that we couldn't get the last couple of points. You said that was because, I just want to confirm with you, because either the rover didn't pick it up, or the times didn't work out. What was it? I think we just had this in this last survey, just 10 points that were missed. Okay.
Usually, when we process the GPS-IS integration, and we need top more GPS points after the survey. For example, after you take the images, so we need a couple extra GPS points. So if you can make the system running for a half minute before and after the system, after the take the image, that way to make sure we'll have GPS points and make sure all the points will be processed.
Okay, so pretty much you're
saying... Make sure the system runs for, 5 minutes after you need your last point, and make sure you got a good satellite lock, right?
Right, and it doesn't need for the 5 minutes. Half minute is good.
Half minute, okay.
Yeah. We had one server, we can process the last couple of GPS points, I think it's around 10 or something like that. Because the system was stopped, and also the last couple of GPS points was just less than 4 satellites. We just couldn't process.
It didn't have enough satellites?
Right.
Okay.
So if you can just keep the system running for half minutes after the take the image, then that will usually that will take care of the problem.
Okay.
All right. I think all I really want to work on next is really just adding those GPS points in there. So I can go ahead and take a look and start on that. And when I get stuck on something, I can give Thing a call back or make a time for me and him to do that and record what we do.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you have anything more, go ahead. Definitely.
Well, I guess I want to talk about the vehicles because usually the systems are working pretty good in the field. We come back and, like you said, it's split road and things like that. I pretty much know there's going to be trouble there because it's just a bad time. And what you're saying is you could go back to that road at a different time of the day, and you could have, of the 27 satellites, there's 9 that are in that area versus the 3 when you drove it the first time. So you kind of want to, try and drive it once. It doesn't go bad. Don't try and redrive it right away again. Wait a little while, come back, and then try it again at a different time of the day because usually it's better satellites, right? Or there'll be different satellites, right?
Right.
Okay. And how about, so the satellites that we use in our system, we have a Trimble, whatever, GPS system on them. That system is good all over the world, right? I mean, there's U.S. satellites that cover the entire globe, correct?
Right.
Right. And there is no way is there any way to find out, like, where the satellite coverage is going to be or what time of the day the satellite coverage is better at certain parts of the globe? Any software like that or any way you can guess it, or just all random?
You can calculate that. That was used for a couple of years ago, at the beginning. But now because the GPS covers, usually it's pretty good.
Anywhere in the globe is going to be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that nobody uses that. It's not popular anymore.
Okay.
But at the beginning, it was very useful because we just have less. We don't have enough satellites. And only on certain time we have the GPS have good coverage in the US. That's why that is useful. And now it's not that important.
Okay, good. All right. And then on the driving part, I guess there was a couple other, issues with processing the data, and it sounds like if the van is collecting the data and you can, end the survey and then export all the data with the survey tool, it's pretty much going to be pretty good unless there's really bad satellites like that one Bode road. Other than that, most of these issues where you can't extract something or you can't process it or it's Bode, that's all more related to the processing side of it. Is that right? Or is there anything you suggest for the field crews to do to make this better and eliminate errors that we're getting from the source, or is that not the source? Is it more the software?
I think just make sure when you collect the data, you have decent GPS coverage.
Good GPS coverage, is what you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, if when you drive and for example, you don't have like GPS in 10 minutes, that you will have the problem when you process data.
Okay. So the rule then, okay, if you're on the straight road, stop every 2 minutes, no longer than 2 minutes. Curvy road, stop, no fewer than every 30 seconds, or something like that. That would be the rule we'd set. And should be okay.
You don't need to stop all the time. When you, for example, when the GPS is you have coverage, that's fine. You just drive if you don't have a GPS for like 2 minutes in the straight road, then maybe just stop a little bit and make sure you have a GPS for it.
Okay. But what I don't get about that one road that's kind of bowed like that, it looked like the path was really pretty accurate. You know what I mean? If you look at the path, it's almost like the Africa and South American continents. They fit together really well. They're just separated. So, to me, it seems like if you had like a CAD program, you just kind of take that part that's bowed and kind of grab it as a spline road and just slide it over to the good road. You know what I mean? I kind of thought the GPS did a good job, or the inertial system did a good job of guiding you even if you lost GPS.
It's similar. Both sets are similar, but I think if you move that line, then it still has a, because that access still is not filled out, I think.
Okay. All right. Okay, and then I guess the other thing too, knowing, like, they might not do it now. We set up another time, I guess, to do that. But like the parameter files or these correction files, we had this Hopkins job where we had to give them new, correction files. They got that. They worked on it for a while. They had some other error, I guess, and I think Kristen is looking at it, trying to find out if it's an error on their part or a setup problem. But knowing, it'd be kind of nice to know, like, if we could tell, hey, this data was processed really well, everything seems to be working, this should have no problem. This data we're a little suspect about, so we might want to spend a little more time looking at that, because this might create some extraction errors or something like that. Is there any way to know that, or is it just kind of a feel of how tough it was to process that would tell you that?
I guess the question actually here is, because me and Kristen just did an email before we started this, is the files I made were a mixture of V10 and V11. Number one, would that cause a problem with the feature program if they already made a project with just the V10 on a couple of those streets? Because there was only like 8 streets that needed V11. So they already started doing extraction with the V10. But I made some new ones, and the PTS file shouldn't have really changed, should stay V10, but I gave them everything for the roads. And would have that caused the problem, doing it that way with both combined?
Okay, if you combine all the files, if you combine the both V10 and V11 together, you should not have any problem with that.
Because the parameter file stays with, does the parameter file, that stays with the type of system that was used to collect it, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. Because in the top of the PTS file, you can have V10 and V11 file, both systems are there. And for each image location, we have the system ID. So if the system ID is 0, so then it will take the V10 data. And if that's 1, then it will take the parameter for the V11 file.
Okay.
And then,
I guess I'm not sure if I follow. So it is possible that if they originally used the van 10 and I gave them the van 11, that's going to give them issues?
Well, the files that I gave you was a mixture of van 10 and 11. So that's what I'm wondering, because the streets that were strictly van 10 should have stayed the same. It should be the exact same PTS file that I created originally. And the ones that may have been a mixture of van 10 and a van 11 would have both kind of parameters in there, and the program would have known, because me and Guam team went through a couple things to get that going. So it knew which ones needed van 11 and which ones needed van 10. But that's why I was questioning is if that program, if it would have messed up maybe the V10 section or something. Because did you see your emails, one thing with the errors they were getting?
That didn't clearly didn't exactly what the problem there. Because that basically says just like system is crashed.
So you think it might be their program they're using? You think they needed an updated version or something?
Okay. Probably it's either if you can just send me like the working PTS file, maybe like send me half images and I can take a look to see what's the problem with that. Or maybe just send me the PTS file, I can take a look to see if that's the problem with it, if the format is right.
All right, yeah, I can send you this.
And then if you can send me a file, like the PTS file.
Kristen, quick question then. Didn't they have some problems with downloading stuff and stuff being corrupted before India, the DCI?
No, we figured out the issue.
Okay.
This is actually the program class.
What's up now?
I'm sorry, what? I'm having a hard time understanding, hearing you guys.
The message from your email, it looks like
Well, but here's the problem. Okay, so Friday everything was working fine. Sunday I sent them the new PTS files, and now it's all running on them. So it has to do with the new PTS files.
maybe the PDS file, the format is not right. Can you send me the PDS file and I'll take a look?
You're saying that might be the PTS files, so I'm going to go ahead and send him the PTS files I sent you. So I'm going to just forward that email I sent you so that he gets exactly what you got. So if maybe something messed up during the transfer or something, maybe something like that happened, possibility, but I'll send him what you got and he'll take a look at it and see if it is the PTS files.
Okay, thank you.
Also, question, when was this call happens? Do you know? When they open the file of this, when does the file?
I can't understand. It's a really bad connection. I don't know. Can you email me your question or something? It's something wrong with the connection I'm having with WebEx.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe one thing, if you could email the question sheet to ask them, Kristen, that'd be great.
Okay. My question was, does she know when this problem happened?
The problem happened today.
No, when you open the files or when you made your, what stage does that happen?
It's the first part of her email. She has it in there of what they were doing. They got halfway through the street and then it just bombed. And none of their work was dead.
You mean they were extracting and they were doing it fine and going about halfway through the street and all of a sudden the program just crashed.
Yeah, that's what I got from the email.
And then it deletes all of their previous output file information. So they lose everything they had up to that point. Okay.
They could be... Let me look at the PDF card, see if the file is correct.
And let me make sure I have a good understanding of this. You're saying one thing that if you have, and it doesn't really happen that often when we use different bands. I know right now we're kind of band shorts here, but if you drive a project with two different bands, then whatever images you splice in between, the parameter files or the calibration that you have, that's something that stays with, or the program knows that those images came from a different band and used this parameter file, or we got to make sure we provide all those parameter files then to for that project.
And it works exactly the same like the one system. Only the difference is when you process the data, your system parameter file will have the two sets of data. And when you create the PTS file for the after image mover, on the top of each PTS file, you have two sets of the parameter. And in the PTS file, also the last column for each image, it has either 0 or 1, so it will identify which system is look at this image. And all the filter extraction software works no difference than one system. So the user is exactly same.
Okay, but and then Jared, do you know how to see then that it's going to need needs two GPS or two parameter files or one parameter file? Can you find that out in the program?
Yeah, we did that on Saturday.
Oh, okay, good. So then you got to make sure if you see it says two that there's two parameter files that they have, correct?
Yeah.
Because then the program would read the correct parameter file based on that. So I'm assuming then that for Hopkins they have two parameter files.
Yes, with the new PTS files we made, they have two parameter files.
Okay. All right.
So maybe the better way is just send me that file and just take a look at it if the format is right.
Okay. All right. It'd be nice to get them to forward you send what you have, Jared. But it'd be nice to have Kristen get back what was sent and then maybe that was corrupted over the over the air or something like that. It's a possibility because Kristen's not having the problem.
Right. Well, and I also requested from them what exactly they're doing. Are they opening an existing output file? Do they get the errors if they start a new output file? That sort of thing.
Right. Great.
It should be no. This problem, if some problem, it's the thing.
Okay. All right. Then you might want to just add that to your next meeting, Jared, about seeing how to check if the PTS file is bad or not.
Okay.
Okay.
Because this is not accurate. I think it's something to do with the format.
Okay.
Just making sure the format is in the right place.
Good. Okay. Well, the next meeting, I guess, Jared, you can arrange that. Kristen and Guangping, just want you know, both that I was going to be heading up to Minnesota here. I was probably going to leave. Both I can leave tonight still, but I was hoping to swing by and visit you, Guangping, in Wisconsin, and then Kristen. Kristen just graduated with her master's program.
Oh, congrats!
Congratulations to her. Exactly. So hopefully we'll do a little nice lunch, kind of like we did with Amy and Tony or something like that. So probably try and do that the lunch on the 14th tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, I have a train until noon, so it could be a late lunch, like a 1 o'clock or something.
Yeah, that's fine. Or we could do a late lunch. We'll see how it goes, but let me know what your schedule's like. And then Guangping, are you around this evening at all, or no?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to swing by if that's possible, and I haven't seen your cute little son yet, so I'm sure it's just a little doll.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you guys, and then again add the other things we've learned from this one to the trial, and then Jared, you and I can try to figure out how to solve these split roads, with data. I think the best thing to do is to, if you get this, look really if the data was bad, try to reprocess it quickly, by changing those PDOTs like Guangping said. If you can't do that, this would be a good redrive road to get out right away because the person in the field would think they drove it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
You drive, you will have some roads, you process if we miss too many data, if the driver are still in the field, so just get them to drive some roads.
Right.
That will happen.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds good. Okay, you guys, we'll see you all and talk to y'all later, okay?
Okay, so you will be here this evening?
Yeah, I'm trying to get out. I'm only going to leave like an hour. Been a lot longer than I thought, but so that would put me into Milwaukee probably like around 8:30 or so.
Okay. I have a stereo monitor you can take it with you. It's here.
I'll call you and just try to coordinate and see how things go. All right?
Okay. So you said that Kristen is graduate, just graduate. When does she graduate?
Was it last the 9th, right? On Friday, right, Kristen, or was that the celebration day?
The 9th, I graduated the 9th on Friday.
So congratulations, Kristen.
Yeah, so it's really
What
good.
is your major?
That's free time again.
What is your major?
Civil engineering.
Okay.
But this was a master's in kind of a public administration management kind of thing. So I think what's great about that is that I'm hoping we can get into the point where we're actually helping them manage their infrastructure. Not public administration, I mean public infrastructure management.
Okay.
So hopefully I guess that's what I'd like to have Kristen do is take that now and start working with the clients at the infrastructure management level to help them figure out. And we're actually one thing we're trying to do too is web exit. and try to use more of the new media to, kind of help train and get our clients to a higher level, because the higher level that they are, the more they use our system, and then the more they're probably going to have us help them to get better results. So it's a good deal. Okay, guys. Well, I gotta get rolling, so we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay. So okay. So see you down.
Okay, I'll call you on the wave run thing just to update.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.